Yeah. Well.
EEG was brought out.
Yeah, that's right. Which I think you got right, which is a
tachycardia.
So, and the third one was.
So would you just?
Well, I think it was really the technique.
Points, though.
Well, the point here really is.
No, the amount of points are out of 40.
You got 20. So.
I got 20. Wow.
Well, you've got to get 60%.
Yeah. I know. It was just. I mean, I nailed the diagnosis and.
Yeah, but this is not about getting the diagnosis. It's the way you arrive at a diagnosis.
Okay.
It's the way this is about. You can get there lots of ways. At this stage of the curriculum, we're still interrogating how you reach those conclusions, the ability to take a history. And these are very experienced examiners, and they just felt the process was for.
And the one with the dysphagia.
The dysphagia, you got 15.
And what was the problem there?
There were a lot. Well, the comments. Again, I'm just talking about the comments from the. You had some leading questions like you never coughed up blood, so you're giving them the kind of answer.
Okay.
That's the same. You've got to be very careful. You haven't travelled recently.
That's Chagas disease. I should have asked if you travelled to.
Yeah, but you've got to ask. These are sort of very basic things. As you know, we spend most of us in 1 to 5 trying to train you out of those kind of statements, which is a statement, and it's very hard for the patient to go, no, you're putting words in their mouth. So normally you say, well, have you travelled recently?
So what's the amount of points in that? It was 15, right?
Yeah, it is.
And the diagnosis was a cancer.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And at least did I get the examination right? Which test I can it's a barium swallow.
Barium swallow. They wanted an endoscopy, not a barium swallow.
Well, the first thing you do is a barium swallow. I mean, you want to see if the problem is neurological, and when you find out it's an obstruction, then you got to see.
But I think the history here is not very much of a neurological one. Anyway, look, as I say, I'm not going to go through second guess. It's about we have significant concerns over now quite a large number of assessment pieces that suggest that you're just not there, and the decision of UPC stands.
Sure, no, I'm not challenging it.
Well, you can, as you know, you can take it to academic board and
I don't have the time nor the will nor the energy. I'm basically broke, and there's no point in challenging.
I'm obviously highly sympathetic, but here the issue is an academic.
No, sure. That's why I'm going to challenge it.
Yeah. Sure. But what I suggest with my other hat on, which is that we are not, an unsympathetic faculty.
Right.
Though that sympathy doesn't lie at my level. It lies at Dean's level in terms of fee remission. I'm not promising you anything. It may be you'll get nothing, but that's the other thing that you can do, which is to write to the Dean. Outline your circumstances, saying that it has been recommended that you repeat the year after the year off or not. And I'm not, because you could go straight on, as you know, into semester 8 and 9 now.
Yeah, at the Royal Melbourne.
Yeah, that's right. That was the idea. And yes, you've missed a bit of time, but that's not so much of an issue.
Well, yeah. Well,
well, changing vehicle schools is just sort of,
Well, that one is just across the street.
Yeah. So that was we thought was an advantage for you. And just to ask, from what Diane tells me, you're heading back to the States. Is that right?
I mean, if I can't raise any money, then I have no choice.
Yeah.
Well, the visa will expire.
Whether you go or not, it is worth writing to the Dean and outlining this. And just saying, well, look, this will result in my withdrawal from the course. It will result in me incurring debts without a benefit, which is that you've not got a degree as a result of the time you've got here. That you've had a stutter, which that you've sought some help, and there's been some.
I think I'm good. I think I'm still practicing, but I think in a couple of months, I'm confident that the start is not going to be an issue. Well, which I'm kind of glad about. I think that's the
really
it's the one positive that.
So if you could, and sort of outline the sort of financial, it is at the dean's level that these things can be considered Yaroslav, and I would urge you to do that. I cannot promise what the dean in the current financial environment. Who knows what he'll do? Yeah. In fact, it may go to the deputy dean because I think the dean's going on holiday. But I will talk to them on your behalf. Right. And if there is a package that we can offer you that might allow you to use, not much more debt, or allow you a bit more time, because presumably you would have access to 18 months of funding. It's really the last bit. Yeah. It's not this bit, it's the last bit that's the problem.
It's the next 12 months.
Yeah, and it seems to me that if you've got an opportunity, you've dealt with your stutter, you go back and do 8 and 9 at Royal Melbourne, fine, you'll be then at the end of semester 10 when your money runs out, but who knows? The world may be a very different place. You may have access to loans. I'm just sort of, I know there's a kind of desperation about this and timing and your visa and so on, but you could do it that way. See what the dean says. Approach them again once you've passed. There's a whole series of things in here that I could see as being. You're not going to get full fee remission, but you may get some parts thereof. I've certainly seen it done before.
Okay.
So it's definitely worth doing. So look, I think the bottom line of all of this is that it seemed to me you probably needed more practice, and that a year would be exactly what you needed, and that if this involves some fairly emotive approaches to the dean, he does respond to emotion.
Okay.
I think that's fine. I have no problems about that. And look, to be frank, the dean will talk to me about this, and he's going to be in the one minute, but I will support some form of fee remission. I don't know what he'll offer. He may just say, Jeff, look, we can't do this anymore, it's too hard, and blah, 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 blah. I'm being frank with you, but if he asks me, which he probably will, I'll say, well, look, you've invested this amount of time in the course, A. B, you've invested some time in managing your stutter, and C, I think that with an extra year in semester 8 and 9, you will reach the standard. This is not that you're not going to do it, because I think managing your stutter will then help a whole bunch of other things that will sort of help you in your environment. So I think I'd do that, and I'd try and put that letter together pretty quickly. If you want, it should go directly to the dean, but if you could, if you send me a copy as well, it just means when he rushes down and says, Jeff, what do you want to do about this?
Sure.
I'm totally on top of it.
Okay. Yeah, one more thing.
Yep.
I was talking to Julie Gazarian a long time ago about my speech therapy, and she, before I went in, it was on the agreement that the university can cover it.
Yep.
And I spoke to her about it, and I called her. So I wanted to, and she said to come and talk to you about it.
Look, I know there were some discussions about this. I wasn't aware we'd agreed to pay for it. Was that what we'd agreed?
That's what Julia Gazarian told me. I mean, you can call.
Okay.
I mean,
well, I need to find out about that. I was not aware we'd made that commitment.
Okay.
How much money is it?
$300.
Oh, right. I think we could probably cover it then.
Okay.
That's very cheap.
Yeah.
I thought it might be more than that.
Yeah.
Look, I think there is a fund within the School of Medicine that can do some of these things. Julie may have spoken to someone, she hasn't spoken to me. Is that the account? Well, if you want to give it to me...
Sure. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
So look, do put that in. The light is not off at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
You've invested 5 semesters of time
and $126,000.
$20,000 of your money in this. You haven't gone to every. There is a few more steps here, and it relates to the dean. And as I say, I'm happy. I've seen Wilma's been a supporter of you, as you know, and she feels that there is, that at the end of, if you can get another 8 and